What if the power you've been searching for has been inside you all along? What if every time you've given your power away to others, you were simply forgetting who you truly are? Today, I want to show you how a simple shift in mindset can transform not just how others see you, but how you see yourself, and why that changes everything. I remember sitting across from a CEO who had built a billion-dollar company but still felt powerless in meetings with her board. She leaned forward and whispered, "Simon, I feel like an imposter waiting to be found out." The solution I shared with her that day is what I'll share with you today. I've spent the last 15 years studying leaders who inspire others. I've worked with military leaders who command thousands and entrepreneurs who built empires from nothing. What separates those who merely hold positions of authority from those who truly lead with power isn't their title. It's something much more fundamental. In this video, we'll explore 3 critical mindset shifts. First, recognizing your inner sovereignty that's always been there. Second, understanding what true power actually is. And finally, practical ways to embody your power daily that transform how the world responds to you. There's something I need you to understand right from the beginning. Your inner sovereign, that part of you that knows your worth, that stands in your power, is not something you need to create. She has always been there. Think about it. Remember a time when you stood up for yourself, when you trusted your instincts despite what everyone else was saying, when you set a boundary that others didn't want you to set. That was your inner sovereign speaking. The problem isn't that this power doesn't exist within you. The problem is that we've been conditioned to silence it, to doubt it, to override it with what others expect of us. I remember the exact moment I rediscovered my own inner sovereign. I was giving a presentation to a room full of executives, people with impressive titles and corner offices. I was nervous, trying to be who I thought they wanted me to be. Halfway through, I froze. I completely lost my train of thought, and in that painful silence, something shifted. A voice inside me said, "Stop performing and just speak your truth." So I did something unexpected. I put down my notes, walked out from behind the podium and said, "Let me tell you what I actually believe about leadership." The energy in the room completely transformed. People who had been checking their phones were suddenly leaning forward. That wasn't me becoming someone new. That was me remembering who I already was. Engagement question, asterisk, when was the last time you felt your inner sovereign speaking to you, and did you listen? Share in the comments. I read them all. We've been taught a dangerous lie about power. We think power is about controlling others, having authority over them, making them do what we want. But true power, the kind that transforms lives, isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. True power comes from making choices from sovereignty rather than fear. It's about setting your own standards instead of bending to others' expectations. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and standing firmly in that truth. Here's what's fascinating. When you embrace your power this way, your presence becomes magnetic. People respond differently to you. The same colleagues who interrupted you in meetings suddenly listen. The same family members who dismissed your boundaries suddenly respect them. I've seen this countless times. A leader shifts their own mindset about their power, and without changing anything else, their entire team's performance improves. A parent stops trying to control their teenager and starts standing in their own sovereignty, and suddenly the resistance disappears. Let me give you a concrete example. There are 2 types of people who walk into a negotiation. The first walks in thinking, "I need to get this deal. If I don't, I've failed." Their body language is tense. They talk too much. They make concessions they later regret. The second walks in thinking, "I know my value. I'm clear on what I can offer and what I need in return. If this isn't the right partnership, I'm willing to walk away." Their body language is open. They listen more than they speak. They ask powerful questions. Same situation, completely different energy. And the results, dramatically different. The first person might get the deal, but it's usually on terms that don't serve them. The second person either gets a deal that honors their worth or walks away from one that doesn't, and in both scenarios, they maintain their power. Let's get practical. How do you actually embody this power in your everyday life? It starts with understanding that the first hour of your day belongs to you. A queen doesn't rush into her day like a servant meeting endless demands. She steps into it with confidence, clarity, and sovereignty. What does this look like? It means not checking emails or social media first thing. It means creating a morning ritual that centers you in your power, whether that's meditation, movement, or simply sitting with your thoughts. When you start your day by responding to others' needs and agendas, you've already given away your power before breakfast. But when you claim that first hour as yours, you set the tone for everything that follows. Here's something remarkable I've observed. Your body always knows your truth. When you're aligned with your inner sovereign, your posture naturally straightens. Your voice carries authority. Your emotions become messengers of wisdom rather than problems to ignore. Let's try something right now, wherever you are. Sit or stand as if you have no power. Notice how that feels in your body. Are you slumped? Is your breathing shallow? Now shift. Sit or stand as if you are fully in your sovereignty. Feel the difference. This isn't just psychology, it's physiology. When you change your posture, you change your hormones. When you change your hormones, you change how you feel. When you change how you feel, you change how you show up in the world. Engagement question: how does your body feel different when you consciously stand in your power versus when you don't? The insights in your comments help others in this community. A queen builds her empire with intention. She doesn't rush, settle, or prove her value through constant movement. She understands that sometimes the most powerful action is stillness. This applies to everything: your career, your relationships, your home, your health. When you build with intention rather than reaction, you create something sustainable. I see so many people exhausting themselves trying to prove their worth through perpetual busyness. But sovereignty isn't earned through exhaustion. It's claimed through intentional choices about where you place your energy. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. They act as royal guards protecting your energy, time, and peace. They allow you to honor your worth with calm certainty rather than aggression. There's a misconception that setting boundaries means being harsh or confrontational. But the most powerful boundaries are often set with the quietest voice. I once watched a leader handle an interruption in a meeting by simply pausing, looking at the person who interrupted, and saying, "I'd like to finish my thought." No anger, no defensiveness, just clarity about what was acceptable. The room's respect for her visibly increased in that moment. Boundaries aren't walls to keep others out. They're clear definitions of what you will and won't allow in your kingdom. And when set from sovereignty rather than fear, they rarely need to be shouted. Every time you recognize your value and stand in your power, you create a legacy that shows others what's possible. Queens shape the world not by force, but by leading through example. Ask yourself, what example am I setting for those around me? When others see how I treat myself, what are they learning about their own worth? Engagement question, asterisk, what's one boundary you need to set or strengthen to reclaim your power? Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Your only true constraint is your belief in your own possibilities. When you stop asking, "Can I?" and start declaring, "I will," the energy shifts and opportunities open. This isn't magical thinking. It's about recognizing that most limitations we perceive are self-imposed. They're stories we've told ourselves for so long that we've forgotten they're just stories. Think about the 4-minute mile. For decades, experts believed it was physically impossible for humans to run a mile in under 4 minutes. It was a scientific fact. Until Roger Bannister did it in 1954. The fascinating part: within just 46 days of Bannister breaking this impossible barrier, someone else did it too. Within a year, 3 more runners had done it. The barrier wasn't physical, it was psychological. What 4-minute miles exist in your life? What have you decided is impossible that might simply be waiting for you to challenge that belief? This transformation isn't about becoming someone new, but remembering who you were before the world told you to shrink. The crown has always been yours. The sovereignty has always been within you. Every time you've spoken up, trusted yourself, or honored your worth, that was your true nature shining through. Your journey isn't about creating power. It's about removing everything that blocks the power already there. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with one final thought. The shift from powerlessness to sovereignty isn't a destination you reach once. It's a choice you make moment by moment, day by day. There will be days when you forget, days when old patterns resurface. When that happens, it's not failure, it's simply an invitation to choose again. Remember, the most powerful question you can ask yourself isn't, do I have what it takes? But rather, what would I do right now if I remembered my sovereignty? If this message resonated with you, you'll want to watch my next video on the kingdom within, building your inner counsel to strengthen your sovereignty. I'll show you how to identify the trusted advisors within yourself that help you make decisions aligned with your true power, and how to distinguish these voices from the inner critics that undermine your sovereignty. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and let me know in the comments, what's the first action you'll take today to reclaim your power? Thank you for your time and attention. The fact that you've invested in yourself by watching this video tells me you're already hearing the call of your inner sovereign. Now go answer it.